I referenced Muhammad Ali a few times today.
Yeah.
And the reason I referenced them is we're doing a lot of recruiting of loan officers, and we have good people coming aboard, and they're like, why should I come work for a company that's only a year old? And I said, well, one, we're the only broker shop with certain technologies, plain and simple. We're going to lead the country. We're going to be the number one when it comes to technology in this industry. We're going to be nimble on our feet. We are surviving in the tough market. Not only surviving, we're thriving. We're putting systems and processes in place that nobody else is going to do, right?
Right.
So what I said was, okay, so here's the deal. Come and work for us. It's like Muhammad Ali. He was the greatest ever because he was quick on his feet. He could think, he could react, and he can knock you out. We can do all of those, right? The Fed does the opposite, though. They're slow. And when you're slow, you get knocked out. And that's just the honest truth. What did Jerome Powell say? Anything interesting?
Well, that's what we started off
Oh,
with.
yeah, the quotes, you mean.
Yeah.
So that was like his major quote today, though? Like, did he give
That's how he started off.
Did he give any direction on, like, are they going to hike interest rates again? Like, what are they saying?
He did not say. He said that they're going to continue to soften. He did not say if they're going to actually hike them again or not.
They don't need to. Not next month.
I don't believe they will. We'll see if they do. I mean, so for example, here, quote, my colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes the purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher cost in essentials like food, housing, and transportation.
Did you see how much eggs are? Speaking
right.
Eggs are through the roof. And did
chicken
you see,
too.
Yeah, did you see that chicken farm blew up out of nowhere and no one can explain what's going on?
I did not.
It's just wild, man. There's a lot of weird things going on out there. I don't know if that has any effect on the egg prices, but eggs are crazy. Here's the problem.
It's the flu. It's that virus.
You know what virus?
There's like a virus for chickens. It's like affecting their eggs.
It's probably Bill Gates making vaccines again.
Yeah.
But here's the funny. That was sarcasm, by the way, people. So the funny part about this is, well, I wouldn't even say funny. You know what the hard part for me is?
What?
I love whiskey sours, and there's not a real whiskey sour made without egg white. So now I dump the egg white in, and I have to save the yolk, and I eat that for breakfast because damn, eggs are so expensive. I drink the egg white in my whiskey sours, and I'm having to cook the yolk. Nick Jr. hasn't gotten any egg white for breakfast in about a week and a half. He's only gotten yolk.
Hey, we're using it, doing your part to stop inflation.
Just trying.
I like it.
So what you got, Ben? Come on, quick on your feet, buddy. You're being slow now. I can hear you clicking over there. You got something for me.
I mean, that was the articles that we had already had ready, but
I don't have anything. What's your Ben's Den?
Well, we kind of already hit on it, actually.
What was it?
It was on the brokers gaining market share.
Talk about it.
I was going to go. So, yeah. So, I mean, and a lot of it is just because of that better.com article. Like, brokers are at 33% of the market share for a reason right now. It's increased drastically. It was at 20% 2 years ago. It's going to be at 50% within the next couple of years. We've been talking to multiple technology companies who are, I believe, seeing that brokers are going to be the future. I mean, they are starting to build things out with brokers in mind. And I mean, you brought their attention to on one call this morning in particular. And they're going to completely change how they do business because that is the future. Because we already have these things in place. Like this whole 24-hour commitment, like that's been the standard for years.
It's going to get cut down to hours.
Right.
On our side.
I
We're
mean, we're
so far ahead of that.
Exactly. I mean, we've mentioned that we've had 1 day clear to closes before. It's not going to be long before the standard is three day clear to closes or whatever. Like it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, you're starting to see it. I mean, you have like United Wholesale just rolled out their a title program. Right. So you're going to, and I think that's going to be one of the next things that comes up that you're going to see a lot of lenders doing. Title. Cutting costs on title, expediting that process as well.
Yeah.
And once you get that done, I mean, insurance you can already get in a day. If you do your job up front, like we do with a extremely thorough underwrite, you can have all client conditions in a day. then at that point, it's just the appraisal.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem that's going to need to be fixed.
And that's this whole animal. But what all I'm saying is that the broker market is years ahead of retail.
Right.
And it is finally starting to, and it feels great that it's finally starting to show.
Right, because the brokers got blamed for 2008. So they went from 50+% of the market share down to 8.
They did. But one part of the reason the brokers have been gaining market share, it's because we don't get paid as much. We naturally get less, which is passed on to our clients.
Yeah, there's a savings, right?
Exactly.
Because we got regulated in this section of the industry a lot harder than credit unions, banks,
to
retail
credit
lenders,
unions and banks in particular.
Right, credit unions, banks. There's like, no, I guess when you
don't have to be licensed.
No, when you can buy enough lobbyists, you can do what you want, right?
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I also think it's a good thing because we make a great living,
absolutely,
a noble living. We help people, we save people money.
We do.
So that's the biggest thing for me is just like, at the end of the day, we're helping people achieve the American dream. You mentioned something. What's the other reason that these other lenders and stuff are going to their own title companies and trying to speed up the turn times and lower costs and that type of thing? Do you know what's driving that?
What?
Competition.
Oh, yeah.
Competition. Why are people doing what they're doing? You have to be better. You have to be less expensive. It's competition.
Well, you do. And I mean, it's people are going, we've talked about this before, like horizontal. Like they are starting to take over every single aspect of it.
Right.
Instead of relying on third parties, they're starting to take over and have more control over their process and their product.
What's that say to closing attorneys and title companies? You weren't doing a good enough job, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
I mean, there's some really good ones out there. Like, I'm not saying this about all
closing
a title. Hey, don't come after me, mob. I'm just Nick.
I'm thinking of...
I'm the mortgage mobster on all my Instagram.
I'm thinking of one client in particular that we had. We got the purchase contract on December 20th, right before Christmas. We had everything back, including the appraisal, while having everyone had Christmas and spending time with their families. We had absolutely everything back by December 27th, except for title work. We were not able to close until January 20th because of title. Because title took an entire week off, then took 2 weeks after that to get it back. And
I talked to the listing agent on that, and he asked today, actually, I was like, hey, listen, and I wanted to partner with this guy. Like,
yeah.
I just said to him, he's like, I don't know much about what was going on, but it seemed like, I was like, listen, dude, we had everything cleared, and the buyer's agent refused to tell the buyer to use a different closing attorney. We would have been clear to close before January 1st. And he's like, really? I said,
we would have been clear to close by
Yep. So we would have been clear to close by
27th.
We're that quick. We turn it around, but they have to use our people because our people can get that back between 3 and 7 days. Right. So if you like speed, like strategic partnership, let's do this. This guy's a go-getter too.
Absolutely.
Really like him. Hopefully he'll come on the podcast. He's somewhat of a public figure too. He's been on HGTV.
I know who you're talking about. So yeah.
I'm working hard to get him to work with us because it will be a great partnership.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's like competition has driven this. UWM has pushed the industry forward. Quicken started it. Or Rocket, I'm sorry, I worked there when it was Quicken, but Rocket started it from a technology standpoint. UWM stepped up. UWM didn't start making a lot of noise that I saw until after I had left Rocket.
Yeah.
When did UWM become number one?
Like overall? Like that was
in wholesale lender.
Oh. I think you were still there then.
You think?
That's been a while. Because that was back.
I don't remember.
Anthony Casa and AIM was pushing everything there. And
right, yeah. AIM, the arm of UWM.
Yeah.
Brokers are better, though. I have to agree with him there.
Not wrong at all.